Hello again, this is part 3 of my book collection. The final part, final bookshelf. Let's get started. Here is my second bookshelf. Very small one. It used to be my old one. So let's get started. I have Wally Lamb, I Know This Much Is True. Webster's New World Thesaurus, which I believe that everyone should have. My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult, Iris Johansen's Quicksand, A Time to Kill by John Grisham, and The Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub. I have not read any of these. Well, I can't read this. I've looked in the thesaurus, though. Here's The Deception Point by Dan Brown. I found it. As you can see, my dad's reading it. It's not very far, but he's liking it so far. American Gods by Neil Gaiman, James Patterson's Sale, Sky Coyote by Cage Baker. I found this in the used bookstore. It looked pretty interesting. Joe Hill's Heart-Shaped Box. This is Stephen King's son. He went by Joe Hill. Webster's New World Dictionary, which I believe everyone should have on their bookshelf. So you can, look up words that you don't know. I've had to do that. 1001 Reasons to Love Baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan, so I got this when I was younger. Mass Effect Revelation by Drew Caprichin. Peter Hamilton, Part 1, this is the Reality Dysfunction, Part 1, Emergence by Peter F. Hamilton, sorry. Wolf's Hour by Robert R. McCammon. The Tommyknockers by Stephen King, and Everything's Eventual by Stephen King, and this is just a phone book. I have not read any of these, or these. So I'll cut away from the next shelf. So here we have Summer of Night by Dan Simmons, and Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, Tyrannosaur Canyon by Douglas Preston, Dune by Frank Herbert, Thomas Harris, The Silence of the Lambs. This is based, the novel that the movie was based on. Playing for Pizza by John Grisham, The Broker by John Grisham, Final Jeopardy, Killer Heat, and Death Dance, all by Linda Fairstein. I have not read any of these yet. I plan on it. Then here are some of my favorite books. Actually, my favorite publisher. These are books I haven't read yet, but one of my favorite publishers. This is Leisure Fiction. We have The Conqueror Worms by Brian Keene. The Dead Sea by Brian Keene. Brian Smith, Deathbringer. One Brady Night by Richard Lehman. Water Witch by Deborah LeBlanc. Ray Garthen, Ravenous, which is about werewolves. Crimson by Gord Rollo. The Jigsaw Man by Gord Rollo. The Traveling Vampire Show by Richard Lehman. The Cellar by Richard Lehman. And A House Divided by Deborah LeBlanc. All of these are horror novels by my favorite publisher, which I have not read. And then that's Derek Jeter, The Life You Imagine. This is a collaborated autobiography kind of book about the Yankees shortstop Derek Jeter's life. Then right here we have The Winds of War and War and Remembrance by Herman Wouk. My dad really wants me to read these. I'm going to. Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Schindler's List by Thomas McKinley. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, sorry. The Elements of Style by, who is this by? Strunk and E.B. White. What's the guy's name? Crap. Well, it's a writing book about, style in writing, since I want to become a writer. So there's that. The final books. Okay. So I have Aliens, Book 1, Earth Hive by Steve Perry. This is a novel version of the movies. It's actually its own separate story, but, it's based on the Alien movies. Guilty Pleasures by Laura K. Hamilton. I'm not sure if I'm going to read this. It's kind of raunchy, I hear, so I'm not really sure. Honeymoon by James Patterson. Mr. Hands by Gary A. Brombeck. This is also one of those leisure fiction novels. It's a horror novel. I'm going to put those with my other ones. The Reality Dysfunction Part 2 Expansion by Peter F. Hamilton. I have part 1 also. That's how they were originally published. There are 2 books. It's 1 book, but in 2 parts because it's so huge. So then we have Prophecy by David Seltzer, the same author who did The Omen, who wrote The Omen, and this is made into a movie about a giant bear. Jack London's Call of the Wild and White Fang. Then we have George Orwell's 1984. Both of the, I've read Call of the Wild. It's one of my favorite books, and I love 1984, another one of my favorites. Then we have a Spanish-English dictionary, which I just found and I need because I'm learning Spanish. Right here we have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, Brian's Winter by Gary Paulson, Plague by Graham Masterson, Ken Follett's Whiteout, The Terror by Dan Simmons, The Sinner by Tess Gerritsen, Sepulchre, I don't know how to say that, Sepulchre by James Herbert, except for Night, and I haven't read any of these except for Call of the Wild and 1984. And then over here we have my Series of Unfortunate Events books. I have books 1, The Bad Beginning, The Reptile Room, that's book 2, The Wide Window, book 3, The Miserable Mill, book 4, The Austere Academy, book 5, The Aerstats Elevator, book 6, The Vile Village, book 7, and then The End, book 13. I've only read like 1 through 6 of these. I stopped reading them. They were one of my favorite books when I was little, though. And that is all of my books. We finally made it. So those are all my books. I know, it's a lot, right? I know, this is what I've accumulated over, like, 5 years, okay? I'm not rich or anything. I just, when I was little, I spent all my allowance on books, and whenever I had a birthday or Christmas, I'd always ask for books. So this is what I've accumulated, and I usually buy used books, so I don't really spend a lot of money, but yeah, these are a lot of books, I know that, and yeah, I just want you to know that. So if you see any books that I have read that you would like me to review, please tell me, and I will do that. And also, the books that I have not read yet, I will review on We Read Books. So I will put the book that I've read on my channel description in the info on the side of my channel, and it'll say the book that I've read, and that review will be in We Read Books. And I'll put a link to the channel We Read Books in the description box below, so you can subscribe to that and watch my reviews. So those are all my books. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later with some more reviews. I'm going to do a book review and a movie review. So see you guys later today, and thank you so much for watching.